Did you know that the U.S. has one of the highest teen pregnancy rates in the Western industrialized world? 3 in 10 American girls will get pregnant at least once before the age of 20. Today, parenthood is the leading reason that teen girls drop out of high school, with more than 50% of teen mothers never even graduating. This is a serious social problem. While many of these pregnancies end in abortion or adoption, teen girls who do decide to keep their babies face many challenges. And although less is known about teen fathers, research indicates that they too face problems associated with being parents. Teen parents have a lot of stressors and obstacles to overcome. They have higher risk of health issues such as premature birth, low birth weight, and other serious health problems. They also struggle finding and holding jobs due to the lack of schooling and increased responsibility. On top of this, many of them suffer from depression driven by guilt and anxiety about the future, as well as the pressure that comes with the unfamiliar, ever-demanding role of being a parent. To make matters even worse, pregnancy puts a huge strain on the relationship that the teens have with the people around them. I was given the opportunity to sit down and talk with Teresa Seitz, a teacher at the Ivan Sand Community School, to learn a bit more about the subject. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about the school that you work at?
So the school I work at is part of the Allora School District, ISD 728. We are specifically, our mandate is to help kids who are at risk for not graduating from high school on time to graduate from high school on time, or to support them in at least graduating at all.
How do you interact with the teen parents?
So I'm a classroom teacher, and I also have what we call a homeroom or advisory. Our school is pretty small, somewhere between 100 and 120 kids at one time. So I know nearly every kid. I know all their names. I know what grade they're in, what kind of kids they are, who they hang out, those kinds of things. So that's true of our whole staff. We all know the kids very well.
All right. And then how many teen parents do you think you have on average in a year?
On average in a year now, and probably for the last 5 years, it's been 1, 2, maybe 3 at most. Typically, but I wanted to say over the last, because I've been there for nearly 30 years, when I first started, it was very common to have kids come through being pregnant, having small children. I would say in the last 5 to 7 years, the number has decreased.
I then asked her how most of their students end up at their facility.
Okay, so our students come from the Elk River School District. Some kids choose to come to our program, some kids are told they have to. When a student gets pregnant and is a student in the mainstream high schools, typically they come to our school. Unfortunately, there's a lot of social stigma around teen pregnancy in the mainstream. The schools, as far as the state is concerned, we are an ALC, which means Alternative Learning Center. However, ALC also stands for Assholes Last Chance, and we are the school of the bad kids, and one of the things you can do to be a bad kid is to get pregnant while you're in high school.
I asked her to expand on how the students feel while parenting.
It's not living the dream of being a parent, it's hard work, and they find that out, and I think that they do. And if I had to put maybe numbers on it, I would say probably a good 50% of them come to regret that they kept the child.
Most of the time, friends, family, and strangers alike react with disdain and judgment towards teen parents, shaming them without knowing their side of things. A journalist by the name of Gloria Malone, who graduated from Baruch College and received the 2016 Concordia Leadership Award, shared her personal experience as a teen mother. She explained, "When I became pregnant at 15, it was very clear from that moment on people were going to treat me differently. I got very little support and respect because most people believe the stereotype that all teenage mothers are failures and will never amount to much. This is how most of them are treated by friends, family, and even teachers, which greatly affects their ability to stay in school. The amount of work it takes for them to juggle schoolwork and a baby is too overpowering when they are forced to face judgmental teachers who don't make an effort to support them, even though they have every right to an education." Gloria Malone and many others like her want people to know that teen moms aren't cautionary tales. They are women and mothers who need support, encouragement, and help in any way possible. There are many organizations out there that hear this and work hard to provide aid. Planned Parenthood, Catholic Charities, the Helen Baruch Program, and Power Source Parenting are just a few that help keep parents in school and see them all the way through to graduation. One in particular, called Teen Parenting Services, works with the Minneapolis school system to allow babies to be brought with to school so that the mothers can learn while not worrying about the well-being of their child. During my time with Therese, I was able to ask her how her school program helps the parents.
So, a couple of different ways. Being part of a small staff, our relationships with the kids are the most important thing. It allows us to teach them. And so when we have a student, a girl who comes through and is either already a parent or is pregnant, everybody supports them in making decisions about what they want to do, in dealing with the fallout from friends and those kinds of things. There's very little, what would you say? We're not cliquey at my school, so there's no like social pressure. Yeah. It's not a shameful thing to come to school and have gotten pregnant. The other part of it is our program itself. The principal and our counselor will meet with the student fairly far along in their pregnancy and look at what they have left, make a plan for how they can get as much credit as they can before they have the baby, and then have a plan for after the baby so that they can actually finish. And a lot of times that's a huge catalyst for girls to get their diplomas.
What do you think is the most important contribution to be made toward the prevention of teen pregnancy?
I strongly believe that a focus on education is the strongest prevention for pregnancy, teen pregnancy, for boys and for girls. If kids come into high school and go through their high school years not knowing what they want to do after high school, the chances that somebody will end up pregnant are so much greater. If they're counseled, if we work with them, what do you want to do? Go to this trip, go to that trip, look at this college, go to that, college fair, whatever, and really emphasize how important that is. That for me, I believe strongly that is the biggest prevention for teen pregnancy that there possibly is.
What do you think people can do that aren't directly involved, but what can other people do to help?
Support the schools. Public education. Not just at the high school level, but before and after. Obviously, nobody comes into high school a blank slate. So supporting education from the get all the way through, however far you want to go.
All right, thank you so much. Everyone can help in some way. There are many options. People can sign up for babysitters clubs so teens don't need to pay for daycare. You can donate used items like school supplies and baby clothes, or make financial contributions. Another option is to contact agencies to volunteer or help provide assistance. And if none of this seems feasible to you, the simple act of subscribing to the Catholic Charities newsletter, which keeps you educated on the issues happening, can help, which is something I participated in myself. A change needs to take place, and that will only happen with the help and effort of everyone standing together.